got a deal all the way around. All right. Cardinals versus Rams, which I think is going to be a great game. They both have high-flying offenses, although I think Cardinals is more dependent upon the heroics of a specific player than the Rams are. But what are your keys to the game? And specifically, what is it going to take for the Cardinals to win? And what is it going to take for the Rams to pull out a victory?
Yeah. Keys to this game. First of all, it's going to be an exciting game. Matthew Stafford with the new offensive coordinator, Sean McVay, the boy wonder, the genius over there. You put these two together, they're putting some fireworks on, right? And then you got Cliff Kingsbury and I forget his name, the quarterback for Arizona.
Kyler
Murray, yeah. Kyler Murray. It's going to be exciting, right? We know that. I think it's going to depend on who gets started first, right? Who's clicking early in the game. And I also think these are going to be two evenly matched teams for the most part. So I think you're going to be splitting hairs to decide, who does what to make a difference in the game. But from what I've seen from a lot of football, whether I'm watching NFL, college, high school, Pee Wee League, doesn't matter. When you have two evenly matched teams, I think the difference is going to be turnovers, and the team that doesn't shoot themselves in the foot and kind of give the game away. So my keys would be whoever wins the turnover battle and whoever gets off to a fast start. I expect Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp to get off to a pretty fast start because they look good. But don't sleep on the Rams' defense also, because we can talk about offense all day, but don't sleep on the Rams' defense. You know the names they got. They're gonna do some damage, but you also got another pretty good defense on the other side. I mean,
underrated.
Nobody talks about Arizona's defense. They can play. They got a linebacker. I think Jones is his name. He's probably right at the top of the league in sacks. So,
yes.
I think, as a matter of fact, I think Myles Garrett, because Myles Garrett just had that crazy game last week and got like 4 sacks. He's leading the league, but he's probably right behind him. So, all I'm saying is it'll be a very evenly matched game. People will talk about the big names, Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on the Rams defense, but Arizona's defense will be just as good. I don't see it's splitting hairs. I don't see it being lopsided one way or the other. It'll be unforced errors and turnovers, and whoever starts the game fast.
Oh man, I'm looking for somewhere where I can't get this man a handshake. I'm dead serious. But I mean, he got a deal with those type of offenses. What you said, avoid slow starts and win the turnover battle. Right? Easier said than done. And you might say, well, duh, but there are teams in the NFL who can lose the turnover battle and still win the game. This game, the way the defenses and way the offenses are set up, if you start slow and lose the turnover battle, or either or, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose this game. And they're playing at LA, so I can't go against LA. But the Rams' offensive line is young. We didn't make them pay for it. Chris Jones got 5 sacks against the Titans in week 1. I expect him to have a multiple sack game. And we will, for the first time this year, see what Matt Stafford can do in a big game with pressure in his face. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it went either way, but I'm reluctant to give it to you, but I can't lie. You got a deal. Avoid turnovers and avoid the slow start. Though it's 3 teams in this league, you can't start out slowly. That's the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Rams, and I'm gonna say that, and the Arizona Cardinals, just because of how their offense is wired and they can score like that. And I will put the Bucs right behind them because we're averaging like a minute and 20 seconds on all of our scoring drives. But those teams, you cannot start slow. And if you start slow, like we did against LA, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You got to deal.
Let me ask you another question on that. What do you think about the credit, or maybe lack thereof, that Sean McVay deserves for the way Matthew Stafford looks right now? Because he looks really good, right? Some people might say, well, Matthew Stafford was just on a bad team, so obviously they look like Super Bowl champions right now because he's on a better team. Or is it the magic of Sean McVay?
So, and you know this because you were on the show when we brought this up. I'm high on Matt Stafford. He's one of my favorite Georgia quarterbacks. There's only two: Aaron Murray, Matthew Stafford. I've always liked Matthew Stafford. And I even gave a comparison. I think Matthew Stafford is just a better version of Matt Ryan. I do. I honestly do. I think he's a better version of Matt. He could be Matt Ryan's little brother. The numbers, kind of how they see the game. Of course, Matthew Stafford is more athletic, but I'm very high on Matthew Stafford. And I thought Matthew Stafford did a heck of a job with what he had in Detroit. I felt like this move was great. Actually, it would be better for Matthew because the Rams are used to winning the last few years since they moved to LA. Right. But Matthew Stafford hasn't. And I even related it to the Anthony Davis leaving New Orleans and going to the lights and the show in LA. It was easy to forget about Anthony Davis. You knew he was there. You knew he was good, but he never won anything significant. So you were like, okay, he is who he is. But once he got to a team that was basically already put together, they were just missing him. Same thing with Matthew Stafford, I believe. Now we're talking MVP. Now we're talking potential Super Bowl. So I really think it's 50-50, cuz. I do. But I'm going to say probably more Matthew. But right now I'm going to say Sean McVay. And I'm going to tell you why. Right now I'm saying Sean McVay. I'm saying Sean McVay right now because Matthew Stafford has to win a Super Bowl before I can say it's him. Let me explain why. You can say what you want to say about Jared Goff. Go check his resume. In big games, the boy showed up. The boy showed up in big games. He went toe-to-toe with the GOAT in that Super Bowl. People forget. He went toe-to-toe. He didn't make a bunch of big, dumb, stupid turnovers that could have just blew the game wide open in a pressure-cooking situation like that. And I think the Patriots won like 13-9 or 13.
It was a very low-scoring game, and they had a
low-scoring game. If it wasn't for Gronk with that one touchdown, they probably don't win the game. So I didn't think the problem was Jared Goff, but I do think Matthew Stafford is an upgrade. If Jared Goff can take this team to a Super Bowl and if he can get them there, then I'll give him the nod. But as of right now, I think I go with Sean McVay.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I look at it.
How about you?
I look at it this way. I don't think Matthew Stafford had an opportunity in Detroit to play in the type of games that he's going to have in LA. So I think it's as much Matthew Stafford as it is Sean McVay, maybe even a little more, because I just think it comes down to opportunity. You gave the example of Anthony Davis, and we all know Anthony Davis was good in New Orleans. He was good in college. We knew what Anthony Davis can do, but he just didn't have the opportunity to play on that stage. Right. So some people can give the credit to LeBron. You can give it to the Lakers. But AD has been AD. And that's the way I feel about Matthew Stafford. He's been Matthew Stafford. He was just on one of the worst run professional football teams that we've ever. I mean, in sports, basically, right? And if you take anybody, any star from Detroit, and put them on any other team, they're probably going to look a lot better. So I tip my hat to Matthew Stafford, especially for him, going in, doing what he's got to do, and just going and just performing. So
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all. One thing I want to bring to everybody's attention. Matthew Stafford did take Detroit to the playoffs 3 times. He took that cesspool to the playoffs 3 times. Wasn't able to get a victory because they were never a complete team, but he did get them over playoff droughts.
And that's saying a lot.
That's saying a whole lot.